Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the latest in the Main Street Cinema Fan Fest, the show where we discuss the finer points of fan filmmaking. And Dragon, oh my god, it's finally here. Episode 5 of Harley and Joker versus the real world. Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked, Dragon. This was well worth the wait.
Yes, indeed. Oh boy, it was. Suffice it to say, it was a really good time.
I mean, I would say this is easily, just for how long we've had to wait. This thing is, it's so well produced. Like you can just tell the jumping quality. You know what I mean? Just in terms of the visuals and everything else, just the cinematography.
I mean, you can see visually, and we'll go through it. There have been some upgrades, and there have been some changes, upgrades, and then there have been some. I think you can track this with all the episodes, quite honestly, but especially since the kind of the break that we had in between. There's been they've been getting every episode is kind of getting better and better, so to speak. And of course, episode 4 was kind of a testament to that. It was a longer episode, a lot of big stuff happened. That was kind of their mid-season. Let's call it a mid-season. Finale, quite possible. At least it felt like kind of like a mid-season vibe. And that was a big story, and and the wait. But I should mention this actually. Of course, JustGiggleIt, the folks behind this, they always do such a bang up job. They've been just we can't praise them enough. Even their other videos aside from Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world, they've been top notch sketch comedy. But these guys know what they're doing, and actually they're very connected with their fans, because you leave a comment, these guys, and from what I understand, I've been doing a little bit of due diligence on that commentary that Joshua Thomas put up for Joker and Harley Quinn, which by the way was released on my birthday, which is just kind of amused me when that happened. Of course, it was really kind to give us a shout out there. So of course, return the favor. Yeah. Hey, just Google it. But no, in all seriousness, though, doing some research, I want to say that Joshua Thomas and Piper Hinson, who I can't get enough of Piper Hinson, Addison from Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world. I can't get enough of them, and I understand, like the two of them, usually Joshua Thomas, they respond to they read every comment, they respond to it, they like it, and they're really top notch, really nice. And I was informed by Joshua Thomas in the comments that actually we were informed that there was going to be 6 episodes this season, but I guess it's kind of the closest thing they're going to get to a renewal, let's say. But essentially, they're going for a longer season. So basically, there's no set number of episodes now, so they could go beyond 6. So I mean, that means this isn't a penultimate. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I really had no idea about the number of episodes. I didn't even. I mean, it's been a while, but I don't remember hearing that episode 6 was going to be the last one.
I'm just saying, you and I were operating under the whole assumption that it was going to be 6, because at some point I thought they said they were going to do 6. But then again, the popularity just soared. So now it's just they're kind of flying by the seat of their pants in a good way. They kind
Honestly,
of
I feel like this episode in particular, because of the wait, Dragon, I feel like, waiting makes the heart grow fonder. I mean, the saying is true, right?
In many respects, yes.
And I feel like because of the wait, these people have been able to kind of shift gears in a very dramatic way in terms of not just the look of the show, but also the storytelling. I feel like the storytelling is so on point here.
Also, like the little
really
things,
getting continuations of everything. We're really getting the crazy weaves of the Joker are being webbed and whatnot.
Also, the little things such as the editing. Joshua Thomas, in addition to writing and directing all the episodes that we've seen so far, he's also he's edited. I don't know if he's edited every episode. I know he edited this one. I think this is like the quality I'm talking about that keeps getting better and better each episode. The editing I thought was so on point. I just love tracking these elements, seeing how kind of better and better they keep getting on this, their filmmaking techniques and the characterization, the performances. I mean, they're just getting more and more kind of cozy with the role, as is typical with any show. You get more cozy in the delivery, get more comfortable, make more ambitious choices, get to have fun more within the world that you're creating.
Sure. And of course, Dragon, I think one more thing we need to address is the change in actress.
Oh yeah, what's funny? Again, that's why I keep kind of hammering the mid-season thing, because in a way, it kind of feels like Piper Hinson, I'm thinking Addison from both. Sorry, Brianna Oppenheimer, who previously played Harley Quinn. She kind of had sort of kind of a great swan song with that fourth episode, because that was like a good kind of Joker Harley episode. It was kind of like I'm not saying they should make a regular habit of recasting Harley Quinns. Let's just say if they were doing, they kind of gave. So she went out on a high note,
No, you're absolutely right. She went out on that. Like we said when we reviewed that episode, Dragon, it was really impressive how they managed to turn, something as horrifying as a murder into like oh, that's sweet. The couple managed to resolve their differences through a terrible act of violence.
To get ready for our little conversation, I rewatched all the episodes, including commentaries, so I can get kind of track things again. And I was so amused by so many bits throughout those episodes, and kind of reevaluate. I remember this is my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite. And I think this episode might be my new favorite. I don't know. We'll get into it. It's got a lot of great stuff, but I mean,
I just want to give a quick shout out to Nicole DuBois before we go on with the rest of the episode.
Might be Dubois. Maybe she can correct us in the comments or something.
Please, by all means, since we are podcasters and podcasters get names wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Nicole DuBois or Nicole DuBois. Please, by all means, I need to know for my job.
Because I think it's Dubois, because I'm going with like Dean Dubois from Lilo and Stitch. Just kind of my Dubois spelling, so I'm going with Dubois. So that's kind of, let's settle a bet for us, the kind folks at Just Giggle. Let's settle a bet. Anyway.
Well, regardless, I just want to give a shout out because Nicole did, I think, Dragon, from the very beginning, she comes in and,
from a teaser trailer, she kind of sold us, to be honest.
What?
From the teaser trailer, from the little teaser trailer.
Dragon, but there's moments in here where I'm just like, oh, wow, like she is really pulling something off where it's very different from Brianna Oppenheimer. I feel like Brianna Oppenheimer was very much, here's kind of how I look at it. Brianna Oppenheimer was a good mix of kind of, animated series Harley mixed with kind of like some of the newer stuff with Harley we've gotten over the years. And I feel like I can kind of wrap up this version of Harley in that look-wise, and maybe, like, to me, Dragon, this is almost kind of like the Harley Quinn we wanted to see in Suicide Squad in a number of ways.
Well, I think I have the perfect analogy for what what differentiates this new Harley from the previous Harley is that this, I think Nicole's take on Harley, it reads and sounds very much like it's a mixture of the Tara Strong Harley Quinn from, the Arkham City, basically from the Arkham games after Arlene Sorkin left the role, and some other stuff that Tara Strong said. Along with, here's where I think it's brilliant. I really hope, and again, they confirm this for us, I guess, if we're lucky, because it really sounds like, especially when she's doing the impersonation of Mr. J, it sounds identical. I'm convinced is what she's doing. It's a mixture of Tara Strong and Alice from the Honeymooners.
Oh my God!
Tika, I swear to God, you listen to that impression, you watch a clip of Alice from the Honeymooners, you're gonna hear it. It's basically, it's like kind of generally it's a Tara Strong take with the elements of Alice, and that's kind of like accentuating kind of the couple quality. The
energy of this Harley, the energy of this performance is just absolutely at a fever pitch. Whereas I feel like Brianna Oppenheimer was, in a weird way, kind of a more elegant Harley Quinn.
I think it's amazing that we have two actresses who kind of embody like so many great aspects of Harley Quinn, but also have such great chemistry with Joshua Thomas's kind of amalgamation of kind of all the best versions of the Joker. Very much kind of a classic comics meets the animated series. Of course, you can definitely see the animated series coursing through it, and of course, that was very apparent with the previous pairing. And here, it's just showing you that now we can kind of get away with anything, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it is very freeing to just have a new version of Harley who's, I guess, I just want to praise this new actress, Dragon, before we get into it, because rest assured, that was probably something, I imagine might have been some fans when they heard about the recast might have been a little bit nervous about it, very much willing to watch, but just rest assured, Dragon, I think you and I both agree, just absolutely, like, they couldn't have pulled off the recasting any better, I think.
Well, yeah, let me say one thing on that, and we'll move on. Just because, in case anyone watched the kind of our speculation with the teaser trailer for episode 5, just to echo my thoughts there. I think it seems with this episode officially, aside from just the teasers approximating it, but now we actually have proof in the pudding here. No. Well, okay, a little pun intended, pudding. I think this show went about kind of recasting the best possible ways. Again, Tiki and I have echoed on other shows where we have recasting as has happened quite a number of times with Super Academy, another great show. I recommend to everyone else out there. They've recast people, and the best case scenario you can do with recasting, what those guys have done so well, and I think this show did so well, is that you cast to a point where it kind of makes you almost do a double take, in that they cast someone who embodies what they're going for so well, who embodies kind of the character before it's like an actor, and therefore it's like, that's Harley Quinn. It's not. It's almost not an actress. It's it's Harley Quinn, where we've had like Dark Cop and Corona on Super Academy recast. And it's like in the case of Corona, like, I didn't notice it whatsoever. It's like, okay, so
I did not at all.
then you look back on, oh wait a minute, yeah, it's a different actor, it's a little bit of a slightly different makeup job. So again, it's a great. It's just the best case scenario of casting. I'm so glad these guys, they weren't hindered or anything by kind of a change in casting. Again, even if they were, we have no idea. But I'm so glad that they're doing a bang up job with that.
Okay, so man, oh man, does this opening scene get into that in a great way?
So let me also say that one, the 1 sentence premise. So,
go ahead.
The premise of this episode, folks, of course, is Joker and Harley get robbed, and they make a new friend in the process.
Yes, Dragon, that is a very simplified version of what happens. Good job.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so the opening.
Oh man, so of course we saw this in the teaser. This is just, it's a good example of the notch in production values in terms of like the editing to the music, folks. Dragon, let me say, one of the things that kind of made me throw my hands up and be like, nope, I'm not going to be a video editor, I'm going to be a podcaster, is I cannot stand editing to audio. Like, I cannot stand editing video to audio. And so, I don't know, just the way that this whole thing goes together, it's so smooth, you know what I mean? With the opening the doors in time with the music and everything, and just the good shots of them driving and dancing. I don't know, it just looks really good.
It's such kind of like, basically it's a funky drive in LA for Harley and Joker, and then Joker at a certain point he stops, and this is like this. Tiki's absolutely right. This is a fantastic opening here where Joker.
They couldn't have pulled this off any better. This was just a stroke of genius on their part.
Short of an old fake Harley reference from the from the animated series. That's the only way they could have maybe plussed even more, but it would have made sense in the writing. But here they did perfectly. The old Paul Dini, trying to be the new Harley, and the whole Fran Drescher part from the new animated series. Anyway, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so basically Joker stops, noticing something. He's like, Harley, something's different about you.
I'll never tell.
I honestly, here's the beauty of it. They honestly could have just stopped it there, and I still would have been satisfying.
Right.
The fact that we spend time will make it even better. Because of course, what was great about this, and doing some due diligence on this, I want to highlight my favorite element of the episode, kind of beginning here. So, of course, we have the old fourth wall breaking quality of the Joker that showed up from time to time in the comics and stuff. Your Joker kind of break camera, he'd talk to the audience now and again. He wouldn't go as crazy as like kind of our characters like Deadpool nowadays, but actually Harley Quinn's kind of getting in the. Nowadays, she's being marketed more as DC's Deadpool, so I assume she's doing some more fourth wall breaking as well. It's an assumption. I don't read all the Harley Quinn stuff, just the Paul Dini related stuff when he does backup stories in the recent book. My point is that we're doing a lot of fourth wall breaking here, and what we're doing, and this is intentionally, I'm assuming, I know it's intentional, is that Joshua Thomas, what he did in the writing is that ever since the beginning, we've had these little moments where we could have these asides, where we just kind of cut to the side, where we see, Harley and Joker is kind of doing like a bizarre cutaway gag, and they're kind of breaking the fourth wall in doing so. And of course, like they have like a Looney Tunes like costume change or something. They're doing something like they're shoveling the popcorn. Of course, there's no popcorn previously in the scene, or they're now dressed as construction workers. Next edit, they're back normal. It's bringing that otherworldly, hence the real world emphasis there. And what I love that this episode does is that we hit where I think the sweet spot of the show is, where it's basically we're bringing Joker and Harley Quinn into this LA setting, and they themselves are not really changing, but they are changing the people and the environment around them. So now that otherworldly kind of comic, kind of pushed reality quality, that looniness attached to them, is now permeating the world they are inhabiting. I love that if that's intentional. Regardless, I love it. That's what I'm getting from it.
Okay, well, Dragon, I feel like we have another bet.
Well, sure. And we'll by all means, like, let us know, guys. Let us know.
Okay, do you want me to? Because you just kind of put your thesis statement out there about the whole real world element of the show, and I feel like going forward, I need to put my thesis statement out there.
Well, I'll get in. You want to save? I was going to get into specifics for it.
All right, sure. Yeah,
the examples.
Just let me know. Let me know.
Sure. We'll get there. Don't worry. It's not far away. But anyways, okay. Point is, I'm just kind of putting, like, kind of hinting at there. Regardless, more on that later. Okay, so yes. I'll never tell. We have, like, oh, you want to make a game out of it, so they make a game out of it. And
do you see? Did you get a good night's sleep?
No.
Is your hair different?
Nope.
And I love how he pauses just a moment, like, new actress.
Got it.
Oh, I love winning.
As much as me, Puddin'. Oh,
same old Harley, always asking stupid questions.
I love that. That's like the perfect line. Again, what's so great is, like, the innuendo within all this. You're just saying "same old Harleys," and it's almost like, as Tiki has cited before, it's like the old Iron Man 2 kind of tongue in cheek, like, "Hey, it's me, deal with it," that sort of thing. With the loading casting, and
then that day, Joker's kind of like, "All right, everyone, ready to move on?"
Basically, yeah, we've acknowledged it. Let's move on.
Right.
Okay, so then we go to a parking garage.
Oh, God. Okay, Dragon, I have to take this. Oh, man.
For the third time, we've done a parking garage, but, I don't mind. I like all the parking garages.
No, but this... All right, Dragon, I just want to say, like, before Joker even said the word Pantages, I saw the freaking name tag on this guy, and I knew where this was headed. I immediately knew where this was headed as soon as I saw the name tag.
Tiki, before we hit the zenith of your excitement here, I just want to hit two things, because literally the only two minute negatives I have in the whole thing, just because it's going to be completely swept under the rug with the thing you're about to bring. That's why I bring it now. Because we got to ground these guys, because we love them. We say a lot of nice things. We got to show that, of course, we are objective here. We got two nitpicks in this episode. Okay. Very minor, of course. As stated before in the teaser, I noticed the neck's not being made up, and that's just kind of because we consistently the other 4 episodes, the whole face has been made up with the white makeup. On the Joker is what I'm saying here. He's got all the white face paint on, which kind of leads to the illusion. Okay, perhaps it's the chemically altered Joker. Even if they want to leave it vague, I'm saying it's consistency's sake. So again, it might have just been like a slip up for the episode. Might be a new visual.
To tell you the truth, like it could just be the fact that visually they're trying to reboot the series in a way.
Well, speaking of the reboot, let's talk about kind of a neat thing, of course, with the wardrobe, because, we kind of addressed it a little bit. So, Harley Quinn now, she has more, basically before it was kind of a makeshift, and I mean that in a bad way, so it was kind of a makeshift kind of Suicide Squad Harley that was kind of original enough that, wasn't like verbatim like the movie, and now we have a very kind of costume-accurate version with the red and blue shorts, and like she has the professional, Daddy's Little Monsters t-shirt and everything. So, again, it's a more put together design there. And Joker, you'll notice it's subtle. And they have a fun little way of pointing that out later on. He has a full matching suit of purple. It's a nicer jacket. It's a nicer suit. And the makeup, again, the makeup's been altered, so it's now all black with the smiles getting out there. Regardless, it's I don't know. It's just you might be right, T. It might just be a new look, but I'm just saying again, the neck thing is it's a minor nitpick. I'm gonna have to live with. I'm just saying I don't know. We'll see next episode, I guess, if it's just gonna be a new look or if it's gonna be just it was like a one-off mistake. Again, it might have been it might be a time saver. I don't know.
All right.
Other thing, for some reason, the plates on the plate on the car it was regular when we first saw it. It was a license plate. Then in the garage when they pull up there, now all of a sudden it's blurred for 1 minute.
Well, I don't mean let's not point out the fact that you can see the plate.
Okay. Well, anyways, those are my two little nitpicks, like the few digs I'm going to take at this thing, because or else it's just gravy from here, folks. Okay, hit him with the zenith.
Okay, so yes, the poor Pantages box office worker Michael.
And Tiki, pray tell, why is Michael in the trunk?
Michael is in the trunk because of what he said to Joker and Harley back at the Pantages box office.
What did he say, Tiki?
I'm sorry, sir. Hamilton tickets are sold out.
Then Joker, without missing a beat, pulls out his gun and he shoots him. Bam!
Wrong choice of words. So I just want to take this humble moment to brag and say that I actually got into Hamilton. Hashtag I was in the room where it happens. All right, we're moving on.
This boy's Tiki is a big Hamilton fan, especially about the tickets of Hamilton.
Well, yeah, I mean, I basically got the tickets as a gift, so, what can I say?
Right. Okay. So, great opening. Of course, Michael's going to come back. Posthumously, I suppose, but he's going to come back a lot.
You're going to be a zombie, Michael.
No, we're no Grundys. You'll find no Grundys here, folks.
But Michael, The Walking Dead, didn't you hear? The ratings are way down. We can make our own Walking Dead, Michael.
But Mr. J, do we really need a zombie? You can't protect him, Harley.
All right.
That's like the one thing of The Walking Dead I know, so I just pulled like a reference out left field
there. You can't protect him? Oh, God.
Yeah, you can't protect him, Rick. That's about it.
Okay, honestly, I don't even know what the heck you're talking about, so there you go. Anyways,
John
I don't want to talk about The Walking Dead.
Bernthal, you can't protect him, Rick.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you're right. Okay, anyways.
Like the one thing I know, don't try to take it
Bernthal. It's Bernthal. Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just Dragon, do you know how many seasons that
all right. Okay, moving on. We're getting sidetracked. Okay, so Addison. We have the wonderful, I can't get enough of Piper. I keep going back to the Making a Murder sketch they did, but regardless. Addison, played by the wonderful Piper Henson, who, by the way, does the singing in this. And I like that. She always does the singing in all this. And she does a good job later on. But we'll get there. Mm-hmm. So Addison, she's looking for work. She's looking for an acting gig.
Yeah, kind of.
And she is she's by the pool. She is joined by her old sorority pal, Carmela.
Bitch.
Yeah.
And Carmela's not really into the bitch thing.
Yeah, in this case, because she's a little down the dumps after the events of episode 4.
When a dead schoolgirl was drowned in her toilet.
Okay, that's also
that thing.
The greatness in the performance here in the back and forth. I love one. I always love this. I love how kind of positive and kind of perky she is. It's like she's just looking for a real and pretty girl. It's like for like her acting resume. I'm real. I'm pretty. She's like really complimentary of herself. Like, oh, that's nice. And then of course Camilla walks in just really down and dumb, saying, "Hey, what's wrong, Camilla?" And she's like, "Oh, it's very sardonically just kind of bringing reality into Addison." And again, I think this is showing Harley and Joker's impact on Addison. That's what I love throughout this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. Okay, now, T, here's where we're starting to get the stuff here. So, again, Carmela's asking, how is Addison okay with all this? How are you okay with all this? And for starters, we have some great editing in this scene here where Addison's saying, well, she's not sure, but, she just knows she's been the happiest she's been in a long time. And as she's saying that, we have some really great, and I love this kind of mix we have here of like her kind of, it's like a triumphant thing. At the same time, we're seeing those quick edited flashes from episode 1 with her abusive boyfriend, Frankie.
Yeah, and then, of course, even quicker flashes of Jay and Harley being abusive.
And again, I think that's one that could be just kind of, again, subliminally, that's kind of her mind just kind of spelling it out for that, hey, you know what they're doing and you're okay with it without, she's still in that naive space, which again is kind of a safe spot for her right now. I think it's interesting how it's a ticking time bomb of when she's going to, kind of put 2 and 2 together. Because, Party Addison was really close to figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. So
subconsciously, she's putting this together. Again, she's tired of being pushed around in life. And again, I'm loving. Again, it's like that perverse effect of how we're making the Joker heroic in this show, and we're showing this through Addison being changed. And again, that's kind of one of the cell lines of the show, almost.
Sure.
So here's a big, and this is what I'm talking about here. So one, we have somehow we reveal that somehow Crystal is still alive.
God.
And here's what I'm loving, Tim. This is my thesis statement I was laying out earlier. Okay, so I love that now the show is the show is reflecting kind of the impact of Joker and Harley within this universe. This otherworldly element is now kind of affecting everyone. As Joker and Harley are affecting Addison, they're changing the people around them. They're making them crazy. They're making LA crazier. We are seeing that within the reality of the show. So we're getting more fourth wall gags. We're getting more kind of asides, and we're getting more kind of ridiculousness here and there. Because then we cut to like this. we get to this couple on the side who, again, in a very fourth wall kind of jokey capacity, they kind of address it with the recasting addressment of like, yeah, people are gonna say, WTF, but look at what's going on here. What's going on here? Saying what with the whole SPF thing. Like, this is supposed to be SPF 70. You got me SPF 30. I'm a very sensitive skin.
God.
Basically just saying what? And we cut to the side. There's it's kind of a neat little tongue-in-cheek addressment of, yeah, folks, yeah, how is she alive? We kind of killed her off, but we're going somewhere with it.
Yeah, I'm with them.
And again, further than that,
I like how it's like just openly like, come on, we're living in a freaking daytime soap opera, Addison, and I only like the CW.
I want to say I echo Carmelo's sentiments exactly.
Sure
I detest soap operas, but I love this. I love their takes on the CW though.
Even though you can totally acknowledge that the CW, like when it gets down to it, they're big soap operas.
That's what I'm saying, T. It's like I hate real soap operas, but I will take kind of I would always say to anyone who watches soap operas, why would you watch that? You watch such better television on like kind of the DC CW shows that are going on, or Riverdale, or of course all the kinds of Netflix shows. But regardless, like, why would you waste your time on that when you can watch some like some better stuff like on the CW?
Well,
even though again,
operas are on their way out, Dragon. Just let them die in peace.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're not dying fast enough for me. Come on, they had their time. It's time for soap operas to end. Anyway, but yeah, T, what I'm saying, in addition to that, is Carmilla, when she says that, in addition to me just agreeing with her, that's the reality of show kind of going out the window. We're like, hey, like this is turning into a soap opera. They're becoming kind of, unbeknownst to them, they're becoming self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, it's kind of a cool little meta aside there.
And of course, as we were speculating in the trailer, Carmilla, yeah, she's gonna be a suspect. That just makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. Well, again, we'll see how that goes. Right now, it just seems like she was questioned by police. Because again, the girl's alive, but there is a search for the criminal in question.
And of course, she lays out that the criminal was in the house, so that's kind of raising suspicion on pretty much everyone there.
Yeah. Of course, she has no idea who could have done it, and of course, Addison. Now, again, this is interesting. I don't know if they use a different take in the teaser. I got to rewatch it and be sure. I think they just used the clip and they kind of the way it was placed and just made it look ambiguous. But here, my read on it with Addison's response is Addison honestly doesn't know. I don't think. Again, subconsciously she might know, but right now she herself she does not know.
Yeah, that's kind of my read on it too.
All right.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. And of course, then Addison, again, being the kind soul she says, I'm going to make my friend feel better here, but we're going to visit the person we hate, but hey, just to show, like, we're just to kind of put my friend's mind at ease, we're going to visit Crystal.
And I just love how Carmilla just instantly jumps into like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, bitch, let's go. Good vibes, good vibes.
They're just so blissfully unaware. It's adorable. They're so unaware of it.
Oh, God.
And again,
I like speaking of being unaware, Dragon, speaking of being unaware, they're like, Carmilla she's like, oh, have you talked to Harley and Jay about this? They must be terrified.
And of course, we cut to, it's like being so close. How do you think they're dealing with being so close to an attempted murder? Cut to
swinging the body in the trash.
Oh yeah, and this is just great. And of course, being fans of Breaking Bad, we love some good body dump comedy.
God. Jesus, Michael, lay off the Shake Shack.
So yeah, they're having it's been a while since
the line of the episode for me, Dragon.
I'll admit that's a great T. We have so many good lines and moments. We'll get there. I mean, that's the thing. I kept topping myself and like, oh man, this is the line. No, that's the line. So Joker and Harley, and I love the logic of this, T, where they're having trouble because it's been a while since they've had to do their own dirty work like this. Usually Joker would delegate to Harley, and now without goons, because Joker, he has like goons on the side, or goons like your cannon fodder for him a lot of the time. They usually do his dirty work, like throw away the body, because Joker is like, yeah, I'm going to kill the guy, and either we'll like toss him off the side, but again, he can't really do that. He's got to do it himself. So we've established, and this is a big. I like how this paid off though. I like that it was kind of almost like a little mystery, almost. And honestly, what I think we might be doing here is there might be a side story that transpired during this episode that we spent this episode with Joker and Harley beyond this
Yeah.
point. I think, again, this is all at nighttime, so I think there's a daytime story that was going on the whole time. So basically, Addison's thing started in daytime. I think the next episode will probably show us what happened during the daytime.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that as well, sort of the, the different timelines of the two stories.
Well, I appreciate that. That's nice. Yeah. Okay, so we established that Howie is busy recruiting the gang.
Oh God, poor Howie.
Poor Howie.
Oh man.
And of course, Joker's having this conversation about being relegated to, what are we? Grunts? Cronies? And of course, this one. PAs on a film set? Ridiculous. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Then
this is where this is where Nicole just earns her stripes for me.
This is the Alice and the Honeymooners thing right here. Is what I'm talking about.
Well, that's the last damn party you'll ever see me throw away. Dragon, do it.
Oh, that's so funny, Puddin'. It's only a matter of time before you say, Harley, dump that body. This is the last time I'm dumping a body. Now you dump that. You dump that body, because I vowed I'd never dump another body again.
And Dragon, like I said, this is instantly just like this actress is taking the reins of the character and doing something different with it.
Yeah, and it is playing into like kind of that great couple dynamic. Where, they're having like this great. Again, it's not a fight. It's not a full blown fight. They're taking kind of shots at each other, and of course, fitting that into the Joker Harley vein. The minute Harley, classically, whenever Harley made a Joker, kind of she stole the Joker's thunder. Joker really didn't appreciate that, and that's where kind of the abuse would stem from.
Gee, Harley, I didn't know you were such an impressionist.
I love how intimidating you can get with just like a certain question like that. Just like, oh, and he says so non-threatening, so charismatic and non-threatening at first. Oh, I didn't know you did impressions. Do it again.
Yeah, right.
And of course, he says something along the lines of, "No, not in any lifetime would I ever so happen to try that again." And again, smart girl, it's and this is the great. This shows you have a quality actress, a quality performance on Harley Quinn right here. Is that she's able to snap right back into the Harley Quinn, kind of like happy peppy, kind of like hench wench, if you will. And she just snaps right back after that intimidating moment. And again, that's the tragedy of the character. Again, like those kind of twisted moments will happen. And then right away, Mr. J.
But Dragon.
Yes.
She's got Book of Mormon tickets.
Yes, so she did not find gummy bears on Michael, but she found Book of Mormon tickets.
Oh God!
And what was Mr. J's reaction to that, Tiki?
Hamilton or bust, darling.
Yep.
And Dragon, I would say, like, Joker, you're throwing away a perfectly good, like we're talking like these are the same people who wrote the songs for oh no, it's not the Lopez's, is it? I don't want to get into it, but Book of Mormon's a fantastic show. Anyways,
Tiki, does mezzanine mean anything to you? Because I could not make out what he said in that moment. Because I thought he said like mezzanine. Regardless, he had a Joker.
Yes, mezzanine is a theater term. Yes.
What does that mean?
It's a part of a theater. Like it's a section of a theater.
Okay. Well, I like this idea we've been continuing, especially in the fourth one onward. I love this idea that Joker is such, and again, it fits classically. It's just kind of the aristocratic way the Joker dresses. He's he is somewhat of a culture snob here and there. Like he wants a quality drink. He wants like I want a drink that's
Mormon by those South Park people.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like they were having this debate of like, we need an orchestra and orchestral, not an orchestra. Orchestral's better than anything other than orchestral. Like what are we, common hood rats, that sort of thing. So Joker. I just love these little touches on the Joker. He loves kitschy, neat things like bar stools, but at the same time,
because Hamilton is kitschy and neat.
That's the thing. He likes kitschy, neat things. Like he appreciates the little things. Like he wants a quality car. He likes bar stools.
I just want to be in the room where it happens.
He doesn't want the easy. He doesn't want the traditional things like chocolate chip cookies. And again, we've been building all this. He wants oatmeal raisin, not chocolate chip, and he wants Johnny Walker. He wants a drink that sounds like a man's name, not not generic. I love that the kind of that class thing with the Joker. He's a guy he wants to find. Joker always puts himself up on a pedestal, and that tracks with what that character is. He's a guy who thinks he's no like stage comedian. He thinks he's the master. He thinks he's the guy who's gonna he's gonna mingle with the commoners with with the stage comedian.
Mm.
It's like, oh, I'm so good. I'm such a class act. I'm gonna come down there and entertain the little folks. Anyway. So he's all about showmanship and class and refinery, of course, with the whole kind of dance he does with Batman, of course. Anyway, they're having this conversation, and speaking of Batman, they turn down an alley, and these stories traditionally don't have a happy ending.
No.
So they turn down an alley in L.A.
Oh boy.
Actually, you know what's funny? Just occurred to me in this moment. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but God, Tiki, it might be. They're talking about theater. They were talking about theater and kind of coming from a theater experience of some kind, and then go down alley. And again, there is a little bit of like kind of the Joker's wacky take on the Bruce Wayne origin within this.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm saying it's a mugging in an alley, but it's kind of done through the Joker's point of view, especially with my favorite sequence within this. When we get to it, it's kind of like it works in a family element with that too. So I see a little bit of like Joker's warped reality on kind of a mugging in Gotham, but a mugging in LA has so many more opportunities. Like mugging in Gotham's common. A mugging in LA, you expect him to be razzled and dazzled, and in this case, the guy comes up to you. What do you take? Let's start. So we have
the guy basically comes up to them, just like, give me all your money.
And initially, this is the beauty of the performance and the chemistry these guys have. Here's where just Joker, Harley,
Harley, are we?
Yes!
I think so.
Oh, they're having such
hot diggity damn.
They have the gag where they jinx, like, wait, are we in like the wrong neighborhood? Jinx, and of course they're just having a grand old time during this whole thing, during the attempted robbery, and then they're so giddy, and now it's like, let me now, Harley, let me.
How's the tie?
God. So basically Harley, she's begging, begging at the teeth to handle this, and Joker's saying, "Oh no, Harley, let me." And I love this. I love that what they're quibbling over is just a one-word response, and it's the same one. Because he basically says, "No, Harley, let me." No, it's just very directly. It's just no, and then they're holding hands again. Good direction, by the way. Kind of skewed over this in the trunk scene. I like we're getting new inventive shots, like we're focusing on the hands, and before we had like a POV shot of Michael looking up from the trunk at Harley. So we're experimenting with the directions. I respect that as well. So
sure.
Anyway, and again, this is like the couple are experiencing a fresh experience in a new town. It's like, oh boy, this is what a mugging looks like here, and we're gonna have and basically the fresh experience of no one recognizes us here, so they're not gonna be instantly afraid and just like begging for their lives. So it's just the novelty. That's why they're so giddy over this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're betting $20. Like, okay, $20 he has a knife. Nah, I think he's a lazy boy. I bet he's packing. Then of course pulls a gun, and Harley, yes, and George's like, He pays him $20, and of course he's like, wait, what's going on? You're supposed to give me the money.
I'm not giving you the money because I don't like you very much right now,
Danny.
God, oh man, oh the name dragon, oh God,
oh yes, yeah,
oh. I'm sorry, you there?
Yeah, take us through it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's see. So Harley, she starts like rapidly pleasing, like, please. Again, kind of just, I can't do it justice, but just, good part on the new actress. And
of course, he says fine, and
happy birthday.
God, it's so great this week. You just happy birthday. Just like, okay, I'm just gonna unburden myself here by just calling it a birthday gift. He treats her so it's almost like you treat me so nice, Mr. J moment. It's like she's like just looking at it like, yay, like date night or something. Where of course in reality she's like, oh God, like I'll pay you this small courtesy. It's like he's just so horrible to her at times, but he doesn't. They treat it so charismatically.
Okay, so Harley, as you said, Dragon, this whole thing is like a fight for a one-word response. And what is that one word?
No.
No.
So now Danny's getting frustrated, and Danny boy essentially, I love, again, this is what I'm talking about, the direction taken. We just have these shots of like kind of like a stare down with the Joker. I just love the terrifyingness of that, of just Joker's kind of staring him down, and we get to see the inserts of, like the sweat pouring down Danny's face, and and of course he repeats himself, "Come on, guys, give me your money." And of course, basically, I'm sorry, he says something along the lines of "Don't make me shoot you." When he says that, basically that shows to the Joker, it's like, okay, this guy doesn't mean business. Come on, don't make me shoot you, because basically you got to be prepared to shoot someone if you point a gun at him. It's crime 101. Pete's sake. Mm-hmm. So then Joker and Harley educate Danny boy here, and right away some fun lines where Harley's just saying, "Oh yeah, you're not going to do it. You're like a YouTube celebrity who thinks he's you're someone with a YouTube channel who thinks they're famous." Mm-hmm. And of course, Joker's pointing out, "Oh, you would have basically you gave away the gag. You should have started with it instead of just basically you let it peter out. You would have just shot us, not talked about shooting us." And of course, we have like the other, again, this is like the little sides here. We cut to Harley all in like a schoolgirl like about to take an exam. Is this going to be on the
test?
Yeah, it's the bending of LA reality. And again, sure. What I love here is that the more these guys have spent time here, it's the more it's going off the rails. By episode 5, now things are starting to change, and I think it's going to get more scary as it goes on with that. So then,
this is Joker just kind of goes on a rant here. He's like, "You're an amateur, a novice. It's like Michael Jordan asked to teach you to dunk, and you're like, you know what? I'm okay, Michael."
Of course, the mention
I love this moment, Dragon. He's just like, Michael.
It's the sheer mention of Michael. It's like bringing back sore memories. Like, oh god, that headache. Now we're back to that discussion. So Danny,
the showmanship,
and Danny doesn't care much about showmanship, and that about showmanship or jazz hands, and that. Well, I'm sorry, just one of the fact Joker wants jazz hands in a robbery just cracks me up. He wants jazz hands. He wants pizzazz of some kind in a mugging. And just the fact that I don't care about showmanship. I just want money. It just stuns Joker to the point where he needs to take a breath, and Harley's like just gonna ailing her boss. They're like, "Okay, deep breaths, Blood, deep breaths." And then the Harley sidebar. Of course, they go off to the side. There's this guy just in the background, just completely not just just processing this in a way in the background, like, what is happening here? Just going off to the side, they're having this great conversation. Harley says, "Putting on board, like, Mr. J, I'm bored," and she suggests, "Why don't we just kill him and grab In-N-Out?"
I love how that's the second mention of In-N-Out in the series now.
Well, it is big in LA, isn't it?
Yes, it is very big in LA. It is very accurate to the location.
You know why I keep thinking when I hear In-N-Out? I keep thinking of the Paul Williams documentary, which I'll promote for the folks out there. It's called Still Alive. Paul Williams, Still Alive. Good documentary. Anyway.
In-N-Out truck's coming in 10 minutes. Anyways.
Okay, so In-N-Out aside. I love this as a premise for an episode. I love this so much. I love this coming from the Joker. And it feels so much in the writing, and it feels like a combination of. It's not entirely Paul Dini. I mean, the sequence we get later on feels so much like Paul Dini. We'll get into it, but what it really feels like, just as a pitch, it sounds like that Denny O'Neil series with the Jokers. Feels like an unpredictable Joker, where Joker will not just instantly kill you. He will, he'll go a different direction with it. And of course,
this has been kind of like building the whole time. Like, I love the idea of them getting muscle. You know what I mean? Basically, like their equivalent of Batman and Robin era Bane.
Yeah, and of course we just put that plot line out there since episode 2. That Joker's building a gang. We had Daryl. Daryl's been kind of seated, and Howie, Daryl. You're building a team. So I'm thinking, hey, Danny's going to join the fold. And basically, what we have here in the line, and it's a great line where Joker says, "Harley, crime has given us so much. We just take and take. It's time we give back. Help out the next generation. And we do need a new henchman after all." And again, I just love that premise so much. And again, it's Joker's in a way, and I'm just going off the Batman thing here. It's sort of Joker, instead of warring all crime, he's helping all crime after this mugging.
He's like the crime Robin Hood.
Yeah, I guess, again, it's very much an anti-Batman, which is also kind of what Joker is.
God.
Anyway, so let's see. We have so in the meantime, off screen, the idea is now that they are educating the boy like a Robin in the ways of.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on off screen.
Oh yes.
Oh
And
my
getting a
God.
bit of otherworldly, like how the heck do they put all this together?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
regardless, again, you don't need to know. It's
Oh,
you know,
this is
it's
so ridiculous, Dragon. At this point, I feel like this is kind of the series, like big, sort of like, come at me, bro. This is what we got. This is like a really bold direction for this series. I think, Dragon. Just the whole second half of this episode.
and again, Tiki, I'm telling you, that's the thesis. Again, like we're now in that. It's like that. Denny O'Neil series only ran for like 9 issues, Tiki, because you can only go so long with a series like that. This is kind of the scary thing. Like, what if it went longer? What if you were in a world like? What if you had to live in a world like that, where you're seeing kind of a show where the Joker's the hero, and
Right.
we're kind of seeing it. So now Joker, he runs into a monkey, and he's trying to transform a young man's life. Instead of warding him off crime, he's going to turn him into his criminal protege, and doing so, we get this insanity. It's insanity at every turn within the scene.
Oh, it's so crazy. This feels like a Terry Gilliam movie or something.
yes, it kind of has technically has like did Terry Gilliam direct Parnassus? Was that him?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it does have kind of a vague Heath Ledger connection with that too.
God, yeah.
Anyway, so two Texans, nice Texan couple. They walk by after date night, presumably, and they're entranced by lights. Not lights and display contest, but let's say they're transfixed by some lights and Harley Quinn. Making a grand entrance from a spotlight that we're not even going to factor where it's coming from. It's logic is out the window, and that's great. So yeah, she's welcoming them, and of course she's basically building up like a really bad hombre. Essentially, she's building up a bad hombre, like, oh man, he's vile criminal, like, oh, like hide your children, that sort of thing. And of course, then of course, Joker steps in. No, not me. He builds up a man who's going to strike fear into the hearts of many, and a man who may or may not live in an alley. And I love that runner, by the way. They assumed that he lived in an alley, and they built that into his opening. He's like, disrespect while trying to build respect. And they welcome Danny Boy.
The big boss man himself, Danny Boy.
I don't think that, we call him Danny Boy, but I think he's Danny.
And I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm just gonna throw one reference in there for all you Iron Man fan or Iron Fist fans. Harold Meacham just gives a little twist, like Danny Boy, Danny Boy. All right. I'm done.
Anyway, so sorry, where to start with this is so brilliant. And this to me feels now. Okay, now
this is bonkers. This whole thing is bonkers, and I love it.
And this is the marriage of it right here. Again, I think the setup and just the series as a whole is Denny O'Neil, but this is like this is a Paul Dini twist right here, T. It feels so much like a great. I don't mean to say like just saying.
Dragon, I have a theory. I have a theory for this. And
is this the thesis you're talking about, or
no? I'm gonna throw out the thesis because I just like your idea a lot better.
Okay.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get more into the sequence. But I have a feeling I know what they're pulling from, and you're not going to be happy about it.
Well, regardless, let me just say this. So again, when I say like, I know I keep calling this out because it kind of keeps occurring to me. It's whenever I say Paul Dean or Denny O'Neil, I'm saying with the highest comment is the Joshua Thomas's writing capabilities. I think I'm pulling from the best sources with kind of a sort of twist and kind of pull like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this is like the twist here. So again, the Danny has like now has a spotlight on him, like it's like his big night, like a grade school production or something. Where he pulls a gun, like, give me your money or you die, or give me your money, I'm going to shoot you dead. And of course, like jazz hands in the background. I love his thing with a smile and jazz hands. And of course, the Texan man, he pulls out a bigger gun and he shoots him 3 times, point blank in the chest, and then he runs away.
Danny instantly gets killed.
Well, it would seem.
It would seem, yes. God.
So, I'm sorry. So, and Tiki, this line to me, this was one of my favorite lines here when it happened. So, of course, this initially Harley's like, "Oh, poor Danny boy." Well, if we call him Danny Boy, it's because with the gag later on, but he might just be poor Danny. Anyway, then Joker says, No, those were Texans. That was all bad. Just basically equating like what could have led this. Like, have we not prepared enough? Like, no, that was our bad. Love him acknowledging fault. There's genuinely acknowledging fault that no, those were Texans. That was our bad. We didn't cover that. We didn't get to that lesson yet. Oh, Danny
Oh, Danny,
boy.
there's so much more I wanted to teach you.
Now this is the sequence to me, and this is pulled from Mad Love. I know this is pulled from the Mad Love comic.
Okay.
Where basically like Harley Quinn has like a thought bubble in that comic of like the life she would have with Joker. She and Joker had kids, they got married, they had like a whole thing, and it feels very much like the whole what if kind of montage.
Okay, Dragon, it's funny because just because of the LA factor, this whole thing kind of reminded me of frickin' La La Land.
Really?
Do you see where I'm coming from?
No, I see where it is. I'm just saying it didn't occur to me. That's why I'm just surprised.
Well,
I see exactly.
I'm just saying, like the LA factor, right? The fact that La La Land is very much an LA movie, and the fact that the end, spoiler alert, the end montage of La La Land is this whole like crazy what if thing, of the perfect life.
Sure, and also like there's a vague third thing. I don't think you're wrong with that. I think that would make sense. Like, what could bring that idea?
I'm curious. This is another thing I'd like clarification on from from any of the people watching who worked on the show. If La La Land was involved, like I said, just because of the LA factor, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you also have like, of course, the Mad Love would be the most direct connection, I would figure. Then if in the comic, then you have Suicide Squad had kind of an homage to that Mad Love thing. Where Harley Quinn has like the normal setting on the dryer, the whole the normalized Jared Leto Joker and just kind of like the whole normal life for a spell. It might be all that just connected to the Mad Love thing. So either could be referencing that, it could be inspired by La La Land. Of course, this would be another thing that was like a fun day in the life seems to be hysterical. So regardless,
the way I see it is that to me, it's pretty much it's basically the Mad Love thing mixed with how they told it in La La Land.
Yeah, sure.
So,
regardless, all good stuff. So, this sequence here, and this feels again, the Dini pull of it all is what I'm getting with Mad Love, with all this, and this whole sequence to me, just because of that, possibly, regardless, just as it plays, I was laughing so hard, and I was laughing so hard, I was crying because of this. Like, I had tears, like so funny. Just
I love when he's shaving him.
So first, especially after the disaster arc, the initial football thing just made me crack up even more. So honestly, just he's playing football.
Gonna go to prom, and Harley's like, "Okay, picture."
Okay, so they're playing football like father and son, and it kind of reminds me of another guy from Robot Chicken too, where basically had like kind of Luke theorizing like father and son, how and it has like identical moments to this with Darth Vader, like teaching him how to ride a land speeder like a bike. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing football. They're he's shaving him. He's tying his tie for him. Going to prom with Harley with the camera. And he says, "Hey, son, take the car.
Take the car.
The
Subaru, Dad."
Again, Joker loves quality cars. Oh, get out of here!
There's this really sweet moment where Harley erases her name from one side of the blackboard and puts it next to Joker's name.
So let's get to the blackboard. Okay, so before that, we have like the gun or knife thing. One, I think it's a Deep Cuts Dark Knight reference, but regardless, it's picking between the gun or the knife. And he has like this little whip, basically kind of a teaching whip, and he reaches for the gun. And it hits him right in the hand. Like, no gun. And of course, he goes for the knife and gets his reward with a treat.
God.
Then we have just I love this. This Joker's teaching method here, and it's the educator and the Joker, the whole whiteboard with funny, not funny. Basically, what's scary and what's funny. And so what's funny and not funny. So you have Harley once is on the not funny side, along with setting the Benz on fire and setting basically all the stuff we had seen that we loved in the previous. It's a good Easter egg hunt too, by the way, because all the stuff that we loved in the previous episodes is on the funny side, and all the stuff that is. And those stuff is just inversed on the non-funny side, because like killing Mrs. Erickson is on the not funny side, because they like Mrs. Erickson.
Sure.
There's really, of course, lighting Addison's car on fire is a big laugh, and I just love it. Then we have, so he's dragged. Then we have this beautiful shot, and I would have loved to see this in Disaster Artist, even though I know it probably doesn't exist. But just dragging Danny on the ground with the football. He's dragging
Oh,
Danny on the
man.
ground with the football. That to me, honestly, Tia, that's the screenshot I kind of wanted. Honestly, just dragging him on the ground all triumphantly. It's like, oh, it's father-son bonding, but if your father was the Joker, and then Harley's like cutely just kind of adding herself on like the funniest, like me plus Harley on the funny side. And then we have this cute surprise, and this Tiki, I could have died. This
Go ahead.
This cute surprise of Harley's peeking in the room saying, "No, put your pants on." He's like, "What's going on here?" He says, "No, just sit down." And then he emerges, and I love the deep cuts here too. That he is wearing. Danny emerges.
So perfect.
wearing a suit very much like the Joker's. Not just any suit, by the way. And
It's the Jack Napier Joker.
No, Tiki. This is the funny thing. That's the suit before they upgraded the suit. That's the suit from the other 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
It's a cute little reference. It's a production thing, like we can't buy too many purple suits. We're just gonna get. But I love the fact it's giving him a hand-me-down too. I love the element of that. It's giving him dad's hand-me-downs.
Right.
So it's like a hilarious father-son bonding one. I love this too, and I love how we see this logic here that you'll see. It's a bonding moment, like Harley's expecting. Oh, isn't that cute? And like she's about to lean in for a kiss, and he's just patting her on the head. And basically, Joker, he's so enamored with the boys, like, oh, I'm so proud. Like, come here, you. And you see Harley in the background, like he's shoving Harley away, and and this pays off, Tegan. You know how this pays off is the fact that Harley within the fantasy is getting cheesed off at this close bond.
Yes, exactly.
Affectionate than her relationship with the Joker's, and this fuels the payoff of this thing. And I love that on the rewatch.
Oh, God.
So then, as kind of like the surrogate father and son, it's basically like it's the idea that the impression by this kid is more welcome than Harley's impression of the Joker. And then they rob a man together, and he's so proud. He shoot that man in the back, son. I'm so proud. So then the Joker's saying, Harley, and I really love this bit, man. This is Harley. I was wrong. There's one more body I have to throw in the dumpster. It's delivered so straight and so, it's so poetic, yet it's so ridiculous out of context. There's one more. He's saying it so honorifically that I got to pay tribute to this body, but no, I'm just throwing the body in a dumpster, I'm not burying it. And then she's putting that. What happened, Stinky? So she's interrupted. Putting that.
Danny boy, he's not quite dead yet.
Stirs awake from what?
It's merely a flesh wound.
And again, fueled by that what if is again like she's like accompanying the after like the
I didn't like La La Land.
She shoots him she shoots him an additional 3 times in the chest to make sure that he's dead, and without missing a beat, she says, "Beautiful." And again,
all that is just so perfect.
It's just he's intimidated by someone with a more affectionate relationship with a Joker. It's perfect. So then and again. She's right on Joker's side. She's like, okay, well, yeah, it's a big triumphant moment for him. And then we mimic the bodyguard almost, or the hitman's bodyguard, if you want to argue semantics, with just this kind of the threshold here, with just kind of the what's something carry? I forget what that carry's called. But, that's the threshold carry, I guess. And he picks up the body. I love that he does it single-handedly. Tiki, and again, this is the other thing. If we didn't pull for that football thing, this would be the other still to pull from, just this triumphant shot of him carrying the body. It's a spoiler, so probably don't go with that, but you know what I mean. So he just, I love this too. He says, "Save this." He hands her his gun, save it like a trophy, like a memento of our time with Danny Boy. Save this. Don't dispose of it. Save the gun. Then we have the wonderful Piper Henson singing. She does a good job singing, "Oh, Danny Boy."
Yeah, absolutely.
As she sings, "Oh, Danny Boy."
And she does. It's like the most serious rendition of Danny Boy I have ever heard.
Again, it's complimenting the ridiculousness. Again, this is Joker's fantasy of what a hero's life is. And Harley, she's throwing like makeshift confetti or rice as this is going on. And then of course he drops the body initially because it is really heavy, and then he removes his jacket because he's determined now. Then he threshold carries the body, and it just, the drama is so high here. And again, single handedly he dumps him, and I love that we don't see him dump him. We just we cut to black and we hear the body dump. It's all dramatic and like poetic. Like, yes, he buried he buried his surrogate son. Oh, the surrogate son he could have had.
And just wow. I mean, just what this whole second half of the episode, just props to everyone involved, because I feel like it's a bold choice. It's a bold directorial choice, but my God, it pays off so well.
Oh yeah, it's just I'm so in love with just that whole like the life they could have had sequence. I mean, that's the reason, honestly, is based on that sequence alone. This might be
Harley gets jealous within the fantasy, and that leads to what happens in reality. Oh, that's so perfect.
Tiki, I honestly think that itself might make this my favorite episode, even if I might like, I don't know, because they're all so good. I might technically like one more, but regardless, I think this one just has to be my favorite just because of that sequence. Regardless.
All right, and we have a pretty massive cliffhanger too.
Yes. So again, most likely this has all been going on at night. What happened during the daytime, you may wonder. Again, we'll see if that's just us kind of factoring in there. Regardless, Howie gets a text. Howie!
God, why me? Why?
He's very nervously he's downing a Starbucks iced coffee.
I love the tension in this scene as he's like driving to the location, and he's like, kind of pulling a Wilson Fisk on the car door, like slamming it over and over again.
Well, Danny Boy isn't quite in this scene, Tiggy. We can't exactly pull a Wilson Fisk there with the car door.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's like slamming it over and over again. That's a Wilson Fisk. Get out of here. Anyways.
Well, don't test me on Wilson Fisk. You know that much.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so he slams the door, very frustrated. Again, we're kind of building some dread and some mystery here. Like, what in God's name was he instructed to do? Mm-hmm. And, of course, we reveal that he is instructed to kill Crystal or he's dead, smiley face.
Dun, dun, dun.
And again, he is right outside the hospital, which, by the way, we know Addison and her friend are there, too.
Yep. And, of course, Addison, very getting close to Howie from previous episodes.
And, of course, Howie's he's he's moderately love-struck. Again, I assume he's kind of a little love-struck after meeting her. Because who wouldn't be? I mean, again, Piper Henson as Addison is adorable. So now let's see our little post, again, not, post-credit, mid-end credit thing, based on our other scene. Harley Quinn, she's thanking, I like that we focused on Harley Quinn here, just showing that, hey, we got a new Harley Quinn, get used to it, folks. It's kind of like, I think, why we ended specifically on Harley, kind of thanking everyone for watching, encouraging, of course, everyone to subscribe. And again, folks, let's say that ourselves here, too. It's really big for them, apparently. A subscription will, they're getting really close to, I want to say, was it like 1 million views? I think they're getting close to, they're getting close to 1 million views, because right now it's like 90-something thousand.
Nice.
Regardless, the point is, like, everyone subscribed to those guys. They know exactly.
Yeah, regardless. Like I said, I have a link to this episode in the description for this video, so just go and watch that, watch the whole series, and subscribe, and watch all of their content. It's great.
And regardless, Tiki, another reason I'm definitely feeling the Mad Love thing in that previous scene is because they pull a line directly from Mad Love in this scene with the whole, "Come on, Puddin', don't you want to rev up your Harley?" Basically pulling that here on the folks, and Joker is giving her direction, which is really meta and fun given the fact that Joshua Thomas is also the director and writer, so he's giving her direction, not only as the Joker, but as the director.
He basically directs in the vroom vroom.
Give it more sex appeal, Harley.
And
of course, stuff. Yeah. So perfect. Giving her the okay.
All right, you have any speculation?
Sure, but didn't you have like a thesis or something?
No, don't worry about the thesis, man.
No, not that. I'm talking about the other thing, though. The other thing.
No, the other thing was La La Land.
Oh, all right. Okay, sure. Okay. All right. So, let's see. So again, initially I had some penultimate speculation. Got to throw a little bit of that out the window. But here are some plot points that we did set in motion that we haven't gotten yet. So, doing and rewatching the episode. So Joker did mention his knife and gun guy, Nicholas and Raul, in terms of building a gang. So those are two characters who might be in L.A. we have yet to meet, if they want to give us those guys.
Mm-hmm. You know what I like that this episode set up?
What?
I like the fact that this episode set up that people in LA dress in costume all the time, anyways. And that
Huh.
actually kind of has to do with my thesis statement. Like Dragon, I kind of abandoned my thesis because I thought that yours was better. But my whole thesis is that it's LA reacting to Joker and Harley in a way where it's like, yeah, you guys are freaks, but you're freaks in a sea of freaks. Because Dragon, there's a whole meta thing with Hamilton, because Hamilton, the Pantages Theater, is literally like a block down the street from the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and outside of Grauman's Chinese Theater is like you'll always find a bunch of different people, in different, playing different characters, like Superman and and anyone else. So I don't know. I think there's a bit of a meta quality there with the Hamilton and the and especially Danny pointing out like, oh, it's LA, so I'm not surprised to see you guys dressed the way you are. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I'm so glad you brought that line up, too, because we forgot to go over that line. So it's good you brought that up. But I can see that as, I mean, logically, because as I've been putting forward here again, it's the whole like they're affecting LA and they're affecting the characters around them and they're changing everyone while they themselves remain static. In doing so, you're going to reach a point where so Joker and Harley, like again, let's just looking at it in a season context. Now this is the last the penultimate episode, is just say in a season context.
Sure.
We keep going with that story. We keep that ball rolling. We're going to reach a point where, so the end of season 1 is, we've changed the culture, and now we've kind of changed our main cast of characters. So now, Joker is kind of settled in. Season 2 might call that into question, and calling that into question might play more into your story. I think that's the end point of that initial story to get, so now what? So now Joker's changed it. Now Joker might get a little bored with it. Okay, well now there's no Batman to keep me company. Again, they say if we keep building to like...
Oh my god, I love it if Joker and Harley started like seeking out actors who were playing Batman on the street.
I will go back to that moment. That was a really great moment in episode 3, where Addison did Joker and Harley brought a Batgirl costume to LA with them, and I think that says something that Joker does need a little bit of Batman in his life in some capacity, and I'm convinced they gotta explore that at some point. And again, whether they're going to bring the actual Batman in or not, I've always been kind of theorizing that, because at a certain point it's be kind of like Batman saying, okay, Joker's...
I honestly think we kind of hit the nail on the head of what they might be doing with Batman. I think that we will see Batman in the series, but it won't be the Batman. It'll be someone dressed as Batman on Hollywood Boulevard or something.
Possibly, but you also got to remember, Tiki, that... Bear in mind, we are playing with a meta quality, and we're playing with all that, but that is something to consider, is it might be a step too far going meta, because again, if no one recognizes Joker,
but then that also kind of breeds into your whole point about how Harley and Joker being in LA kind of make the whole thing more comic booky.
Exactly. So my point is, I think the jury's out on that quite at this point in time. I think we need a little bit more before we can.
All right.
Anyway, another thing, of course, 2 other things on Joker's list of things to do in LA. An improv class and a stand-up. So I think we might get some episodes down the line that will revolve around an improv class or a Joker doing stand-up.
I like that. I could see that.
The episode, the season could end like him doing stand-up, or again, regardless, I'm going to bet you this. I'm going to bet you, I think, either on the penultimate or an end to a season. Again, I know not this one, but at some point, I think we're going to get the gang has to be gotten together at a certain point. I think we might build
definitely the whole goal of the season, I think.
Because initially, when I thought this was the penultimate, what I really thought regardless, what I still think the last episode period will be, is that the end of the season, Joker assembles his gang, and then Batman will react to the crime the gang has committed, or just when that happens, then Batman's going to be introduced, or be set up of Batman's coming for him. But again, the concept of Batman might be a little... Again, we still need another hint, perhaps, that there might be a Batman or not. But again, it doesn't need a Batman. Regardless, gang being assembled by the end. We should speculate on Addison Howard real quick, and that'll be kind of last spec thing, I guess. So Addison Howard, they're going to be in the hospital. Of course, we set up Howie does have a soft spot for Addison.
I think this is going to be the point where they both turn on Joker. That's my spec.
You mean turn on him, or you mean turn with him?
No, I mean turn on him.
That'll be interesting because again, Howie is in a place where he would have to kill this girl, and Tika going off that. I mean, with his feelings for Addison, he probably wouldn't do it now. He probably didn't consider this. Yeah, Howie wouldn't kill her because Addison's there.
And think about it. Addison is, she's having second thoughts, especially with, with all the other stuff that's been brought to light with this whole thing. So I don't know. I could see that being a turning point. Like, I could see that being a whole thing where Joker's whole plan, like, starts to go over like dominoes.
That's fair, T. But I'm gonna honestly, I kind of believe. I'm on the other side of it here because I'm going back to that Addison, the way she was kind of portrayed in this episode. To me, it feels like Addison. I think she's going to be, in the end of the day, I think she's going to be going with the madness. I think, again, she's unsure of it. She doesn't know why. I think but at the end of the day, when the chips are down,
it's like we're having a debate about Rey from Star Wars. I swear to God.
I mean, in the end, I think she's going to be accommodating to the madness. I think she's going to be transformed with the madness, and at the end, it will be like her, Howie, and Daryl on the gang, amidst the gang, like members of the gang.
And that would kind of lead into season 2.
Yeah, and perhaps like season 2 be like Addison can have second thoughts and stuff, and like her and Howie can maybe have second thoughts or so on and so forth. Perhaps I don't know, but again, like I think it's. Like honestly, it could be like Addison's part of the group. At the end, Addison becomes part of the dynamic, and then season 2, Harley is regretting she'll have guilt over. I'm sorry, not Harley. Howie. Howie would perhaps regret her sharing the same path. Like Howie would try to save her out of the gang or something. Like see, like oh look what they've done to this poor girl. I have feelings for. Her. I gotta kind of get her out of this life because I know how crazy.
Well, like I said, I mean that's honestly kind of what I'm speculating for Howie now, so We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. The point is interesting stuff, and I think I still think they're playing the ass and stuff just the way they should. It's a little ambiguous, and again, it gives you fodder to speculate on at this point.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, folks. Dragon, you want to talk about the other Harley Quinn thing we'll be doing soon?
Well, sure. Also, final thoughts, Tiki.
Like, I feel like I've given my final thoughts.
Well, again, great episode, quality production, acting as per usual. Love how deeper and deeper we're getting into Joker's.
I mean, I just say there's nothing I can say that would be just repeating myself. So,
okay. All right, so folks, what we're going to be doing to tie into again, like kind of the return of Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world, kind of a Harley Quinn thing, and I'm very glad they are able to do another episode. I mean, I know they've already done episodes. They've done other episodes this year, so regardless, they would have made it in time. But I like the fact that we had another Harley Quinn installment in the year of Harley Quinn, which is 2017. Before the year's out, because of course this is Batman the Animated Series and Harley Quinn's 25th anniversary. And in light of that, along with the return of this, we will be doing an animated Batcave soon on the introduction of Harley Quinn on the episode that created Harley Quinn, Joker's Favor.
You want to kind of briefly set up what animated Batcave is, Dragon?
Oh yeah, sure, folks. Animated Batcave simply is we go through I have seen. I'm kind of the go-to guy for Batman.
You're the super fan.
Yeah, I am absolutely the super fan of Batman the Animated Series. I kind of know all when it comes to Batman the Animated Series. Not to toot my own horn, I'm saying, especially, I bring that up in comparison to my co-host here, who he is relatively new to Batman the Animated Series, and that, of course, he knows the myth.
I haven't watched a single episode.
He knows the myth and the legend, but he's not partaked. Let's say he's not. Basically, every episode that we review is like his direct thoughts after seeing it. So.
Exactly. So we're like 17, 18 episodes in at this point?
I think we're like going to be on 21 with this one. I think it's like, I think Clayface took us to 20, but regardless.
That's right. Clayface was a 2-parter. Cool.
So I think regardless, we're either at 20 or like past 20.
Okay. Well, regardless, folks, yeah, definitely check that out. Not sure how much more Harley Quinn content we'll be putting up, but hey, just giggle it. Oh my God. I know it takes you guys, some time to put up these episodes, but we're willing to wait. It's like we will be here as soon as you put up the next one, ready to go, ready to talk about it, because this is just some damn good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. See you guys later.
Oh, Danny boy.
Oh, Michael. Now, Michael, what were you saying about those Hamilton tickets? I'm going to give you till the count of 3, Michael. I will be in the room where it fucking happens, Michael.